to the
Sugar
and Spice
Podcast.
podcast. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back. It's fine. We're all good. Welcome to the beginning of March, everybody. I think we decided that kind of at the beginning of every month, we're gonna do like a little tarot energy card pull, set some good vibes for the month. So we'll do one for you, one for me.
you.
Yep. And then we'll do one for everybody out there, our collective. So if there's any good vibes that you guys want, please send to us now. So I'll get you to shuffle. And whatever you want to be told for this week. All right. Go ahead and pick. Okay. So this one is Happy Family. But it's a little bit reversed. So, reverse isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just like things that you got to work on, or like something to keep your eye out for. Okay, so Happy Family is closeness, fun, and caring. Okay, when the Happy Family card is reversed, it indicates a separation or emotional distance from family members or close friends. This disconnect may be from your family of origin, such as a parents, siblings, or it may be that something standing between you and your present family members, whether it be your children or your spouse. There could be hostilities that need to be worked out, or perhaps some fences that need to be mended. Communication, patience may be called for here. So let your intuition be your guide. Remember, real healing starts when you choose to become your own loving parent, sibling, spouse, friend, or child. The lesson in every relationship is self-honoring, and sometimes the karma is just to let go. The affirmation for this one is, I open myself to a new and deeper experience of family, and I am ready to see greater happiness there. I know that I am the loving family that I need. So hopefully that hits you a little bit somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not what I was kind of thinking about when I was shuffling the
Oh,
cards.
really?
But sometimes I guess the cards tell you things that
The cards will tell you many things that sometimes you don't necessarily want to hear, but you kind of need to hear it. I find that happens a lot. Okay. So, me? Oh, what do I want to know? Oh, okay. So, a woman holding a heart. Cool.
Here, can you hold the card
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people can see?
That way, yeah, it was upright. Okay. Okay, so woman holding a heart, female dealing with family, love, and emotions. This woman on the card wears a butterfly in her hair and holds a lovely large heart in her hands. For a woman, this card upright could be the reflection of your own state of peaceful emotion and receptivity to love. I don't know about that one. Or it might be a message that your family issues are going to resolve. That one I like. That one I like very much. You're an intuitive woman who understands the emotions of life, and you're bringing that awareness to all that you do. This card upright also indicates the presence of a female friend, teacher, or confidant who is there to help you with issues of love, family, or emotion. This is an even-tempered and caring person who resonates with you and your emotions. This could also portend a new love interest or friend coming your way. And the affirmation is an emotionally calm and peaceful, and I attract healthy and stable people to me. Lord knows I need some stability in my life. Like, I would say that's pretty accurate. I'll accept that one. And then you can pull for our collective.
Oh, pressure's on. Something good.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Well, you can pull the actual card.
All right. Well, we got community, guys. but it's upside down. So that's real great. We're all in the same boat together, so it's fine. We'll all be there.
These cards were not planted at all. This
No.
is just what we're pulling.
As you can see, like no funny business.
No funny
Continual shooting, we promise. One take. Okay, so connection of kindred spirits. This card reverse indicates feelings of isolation and perhaps loneliness. There may have been a recent disconnect with old associations or even a dissolution of some wider partnership. This may result in feelings of loss and grief, but take heart. It is often the case that as you shift your energy into a higher vibration, you may find that you no longer resonate with old acquaintances that you used to. If that is the case, it may be time to move on to more resonant actions. Let yourself network in ways that reflect your higher intentions. Meditation groups, classes, book clubs, and the like are all places you may meet new acquaintances that are in closer harmony to you. You needn't allow your isolation to continue. It may take some conscious effort on your part, but now is the time to reconnect, network, and gain the sense of support that you are looking for. And the affirmation for this is I open my life to wonderful people around me. I am making strong and beneficial connections in both my personal and professional life. Well, and that's like honestly kind of what we're here about.
Yeah.
We're here just to create a community of like-minded individuals who we just like to talk girly things and talk about all the juicy gossip that's happening on. So yeah. All right. And then also too, with it being the first of the month, we must remember that for abundance, wealth, and prosperity, we want to blow a little bit of cinnamon through your doorway. Doesn't matter which way you do it. Just let it go through the opening. And if you're somebody who partakes in cleansings, you can go through and cleanse your home. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I guess we'll be on to.
So we're moving on to Love is Blind.
Yes.
So last episode we talked about, or episodes 1 through 3 of Love is Blind.
Yes.
So in the pods.
Yes.
Today we're going to do in the pods and then the time that they're in Honduras.
Yes, pretty much up until they get back home to Minnesota. I actually just don't even remember where I started this. Oh, I feel like there's so much I have to like. Honestly, it's just a lot of Dave.
Yes. Well, I think it's because like Dave's the only like this season is, I will say, as someone who's watched pretty much every season, is probably one of the more boring seasons. Like they don't have like
There's no drama.
There's no drama.
Not like last year.
Like triangle square that was Madison, Meg, Mason, and Alex.
Yeah.
Never made it out of the pods,
which is weird. And then like didn't they say in the promos that like 6 couples made it out? And I'm just like, no, only 5 did.
Yeah. Okay. Do the math. I'm like, okay, so they didn't make it into the pods. Let's talk them.
Yes.
Like start to finish.
Yes.
So what's your impression now after seeing all that of Madison?
I still like, I don't necessarily like, I think yes, like she definitely talks a lot and like overshares. But I mean, like you're kind of in the pod, so like you kind of have to. Like that's the whole name of the game. It's like, okay, like let's literally learn everything we can about each other. And it's like it works, but it doesn't work as well. I think she was just trying to be very like open and honest. But my thing with her is like her change in personality between Alex and Mason.
Yeah.
I was like, this is completely night and day.
Yeah, but then I'm like, is she being performative for Alex? Like, is her personality actually how she is with Mason? And
or is she trying to tone it down a bit for Alex and just be more intellectual and like, because he's like comes off, but I mean he's a whole class of himself. But like, I don't know. I just like, I think she has her own issues. Yes.
Yes.
But I didn't necessarily think she was that bad. Like, I don't necessarily think the stuff that she was saying was like that bad. Like, yes, you're opening up, but that's the whole point of that. Is
Breakups taste good. That was
I don't
you were okay with that?
what?
When she was like when she broke up with Mason and she was like breakups and she went back into the women's quarter, she was like breakups taste good. I'm like, then we saw the karmic energy of
Oh,
that.
yeah. I don't know. Like, I think
I
she was just trying to be funny because like she knew like I think it was like, "Oh, there you go." I think they talked way that woman's side talked way too much about who they were talking to. I think they like were all like, "Oh, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to this person." And it's just like that should be a rule where it's like, "No."
and I think that led to like between Dave, Lauren, and
Yes.
Molly. Like I think that led to a lot of stuff between the three of them. And if there hadn't been so much talking, like in the women's quarters
Yes.
between Lauren and Molly, then I think this may have played out differently for Dave.
I think he would have picked Molly.
Yes.
I think like
And I think Molly in general just would have been a better choice
a hundred
for Dave.
percent. Like after seeing how they behave, like the interactions they had, I'm like, this is awkward. They seem very awkward together and very people pleasing to each other. Like,
I don't know if he's so much people please.
they like
Her for
agree
sure.
on every like they were like,
I
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I
I'm
think he's.
like,
Personally, I think he's just trying to sleep with her. So he's
a hundred
just like,
percent.
whatever
Oh my
you
god,
say, Lauren. Anything you say, Lauren.
yeah. Yeah, like when she was like, "Oh yeah, I just got a bikini wax. Ha ha, I can't have sex." And I was like, "Honey, you weren't going to have sex with him anyway."
I saw a thing though that I saw. I think it was on her Instagram or like I'd seen it somewhere else that was a bad edit like for her. So what she was saying there was
Yeah.
like she wasn't allowed to work out and
Yes.
she wasn't allowed to have sex or go in a hot tub or whatever. And so she was saying the part where she's like, "Oh, I'm so bummed" or whatever. She was saying that because she wanted to do a spin class before I think they went to Honduras, and she
Mm,
couldn't do the spin class. So she was like,
got
"So I
it.
was bummed
So
about
they
that." Yeah. So they it was a little bit on the
creative editing.
yes, yes, but um, I think like after they had the conversations in the women's quarters, like she basically went back in, Lauren went back into the pod with Dave and essentially got on her hands and knees and like, please pick
Like
me.
literally begged him.
Yes.
I was like, "Honey, you don't need to do this." Like that's
And but I think like so and then when Molly went into the pod after with Dave, I think if she had done the same thing,
he would have
he
picked
would have picked her.
100%.
But
I
she was
think they
like
would have had more fun together. I think like I don't know, I feel like Lauren's too serious for him. I just don't
I don't know
know.
if it's serious or if
I
it's
feel like
just
there's no
like there's
chemistry.
no chemistry. There's no chemistry and like he's like I think like if Molly had gone back in, Molly was like, I'm not gonna chase you. Like I'm if you don't want to pick me, you don't want to
Yes.
pick me. Like if
And I
she
think
had
that scared him.
yes, yes. And I think the fact that he's like, oh, Lauren came in here and was like, please, Dave, like I'm on my hands and knees
Like is
essentially. Like
literally giving you like trad wife vibes where it's like I will do what you want me to do for you.
yes. And I think with that, he was like, okay, like this is. But if Molly had done the same thing, I think he would have flipped and pissed Molly. Like,
Oh, for sure. Like and then I think it was like him when he was like talking about like uh they made a comment about like speed dating. Did you catch that? And he was like, "Oh, like I think I regret this whole like speed dating thing or something." I can't remember what the context was, but I was just like, I don't know. He was like, I just like to keep things light, right? Like I like to keep things light and like airy and fun. And I'm like, oh,
well, yeah. And I feel like once they got to Honduras, I think Lauren made a comment about like they didn't talk about a lot of stuff like
no,
other couples
I
talked
have
about.
that. I have that where they were like, um, uh, I was, where is it? He was just like something about,
Like she was making comments about like oh, like I guess we need to talk about like where are we gonna live and
yes. And it was just like other little things too where I was like, oh, like if he snores or like I'm like, you guys didn't talk about this in the pods or
no.
like,
I'm like, what were you talking about?
and then I felt like they were like talking about Molly a lot. They had like
Well,
a whole conversation
well, he
about
was
it.
like, he's like, well, what are you gonna do when like, I talk to Molly when we get back home, and I'm like,
Why are you talking
what
to her?
purpose? For what
Well,
purpose?
we all know that she's going to be at the party.
Yes,
But other than that, like, what do you mean you're talking to her? I would have been like, what do you mean you're talking to her?
it's one thing. Like if it was so like with Lauren, like she had people that she was
Yes.
talking to. Like
Yes.
it's one thing if you know someone from home and you have to
Oh,
make it clear to them, hey, sorry, like last season with what's his face,
Tyler.
Garrett.
Oh, Garrett. Yes. Yes. That ex who texted him.
Yes, and he made
Fair.
it clear, like, sorry,
Yes.
like I'm engaged, like I'm in a relationship, blah blah blah.
Yes.
So that's one thing. But like Molly already knows he picked Lauren.
Yes.
So it's like, for what purpose are you talking to Molly?
And okay, so like when they were having that conversation, and he was like, "Oh, so you were like kind of seeing somebody who happens to be a mutual friend of a friend."
Friend of a friend, yes,
But
yes.
then he was like, "Oh yeah, like I haven't had a girlfriend coming into this." I'm like, "Yeah, but you've totally hooked up with people." So
Oh, absolutely,
don't
absolutely.
say like what did he say?
He's like, I haven't dated for 4 years.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but you've definitely like hooked up with people.
Absolutely.
And then like when he was saying how, oh, like I just don't know how you could be dating somebody, like when Molly was like she was in a situationship 6 months ago, and then now all of a sudden you're ready to get married. I'm like, you don't necessarily like, as somebody who's single for myself, let's say like if I was to say, oh, like let me go, it's an experiment, let me go try it out, like I don't necessarily know I'm coming out with a husband, fiance, whatever, but like why not just try? Like, who cares?
Let's call a spade as to like why he's doing that.
100%.
He's trying to, like, when the breakup eventually happens between the two of them, he's trying to make it be like, well, I wasn't the bad guy. She was the bad guy. She was the one.
Yeah, I was all in. Yeah. I'd been single for so long.
For 4 years. So, and then.
Yeah, you've just been dipping something in every other woman.
Yeah. So, like, that's my issue with him is just like, that he saw Lauren and she's not like an Instagram model, whatever his type is outside of the pods, like Botox, filler, whatever else that he has. And
she's too normal. Yes. And like he's just so enmeshed with his sister that like
I'm like, is there a sister? Like, do we actually get to see the sister? Because I'm like,
I saw a snippet. I saw a snippet, like and I don't know. But then I also saw a meme where it's obviously for like a future episode, and it's just like a picture of him and Lauren in a kitchen, obviously in the apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like her going, so like, am I allowed to meet your friends or not? And I'm like, I can see that happening. Like him just being like, I'm not ready for you to do. Like, what do you mean you went on this and you didn't tell your dad that, oh, by the way, I'm going on this experiment?
I don't feel like after seeing a few,
because she was like, what are you going to tell your dad?
After seeing a few other seasons, I don't feel like he's the only one. Like I feel like a lot of them don't tell their families. Like,
which I mean, like just do it. Who cares? Do your parents not worried the fact that they haven't talked to you for weeks?
Even I think Brittany in that pods was kind of like alluding to like
she didn't tell certain dad.
Her dad, because she was like, oh, Willie's gonna tell him the whole.
Yeah, which okay, that I can understand.
Yes,
that I can understand if you're one of your parents is a loudmouth.
But I'm like, but I feel like if you're going to go on there, a prereq is to sit your immediate family down and
100%.
watch a couple seasons of the show.
100%. Like this is what you're gonna expect.
This is what to expect if I end up making it out of the pods.
Well, because like you think about like what happened with Garrett and Taylor last season, right? And it's like I remember like what her dad came around, thank God, but like he was like, I don't want to be on TV, I don't want to be on film, like I'm not going to that dinner, like blah blah blah. Yeah. So, anyways,
which is fair, like just because 100%. You want to go on TV for something doesn't mean that you have to subject
Exactly.
family
But it's
to
like you
it.
also have to like be like, hey fam, so you're gonna have to go to a dinner and be on film at least once, right? Like, yeah. And other than that, like I just found, I don't know, like when they're in Honduras, I just find it's like,
Snooze fest.
oh, it's brutal. I'm like, can I have a little bit of drama?
Well, when they, God bless Dave, he's floating
He's
the boat.
the only one that's trying to be like, hey, do you guys have sex yet?
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Everybody.
sex yet? Yeah.
How about you? You? Because we haven't. We haven't.
I know. And like, I will say, I kind of figured that Ben and Sarah would right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because they're both very like light-hearted people, even though they're super gaudy and churchy. But I find they just like I do find they complement each other well.
They do, yeah. Like they're I would say the most aesthetically pleasing couple
Yes.
out of all of
Yes.
them. And they're a bit younger too. Like they're in their
I think the late 20s, whereas some of them are in their 30s.
Right. So
Right.
I'm like, I feel like, although Devin, I remember he made a comment like to Dave, like he's in his late 20s too, but he has, I feel,
he's an old school soul. He's an old soul.
That's what I was gonna say too, and he looks older, but he made a comment like, you know, you just did all this work in the pods to like get to know the person, like why are you gonna undo that?
Fair.
Like when
especially too if you don't feel that like immediate attraction. Like I was like 100% Joey and Monica doing it.
Oh yeah, but I feel like
again, they're different. Like they just like, I don't know, like I like them. I feel like they're gonna be our Taylor and Garrett this season.
Like they are absolutely, every season almost has like a golden couple, and
they have to be.
They are this season's golden couple. Like
they're just so cute together.
They are so cute together, and I'm like, yeah.
And they have good chemistry.
Yes, they had, and she even said, she's like, you know, like I was nervous, like coming out of the pods, and then she was like, you know, I feel like it's even better. She's like, the pods were great, but she's like, this is better, like now that we're in person. Did
you catch when Sarah was like, I wasn't expecting him to have like those long, luscious locks, and I was like,
she's like, I thought he was gonna have a buzz cut.
Yeah, and it's weird though because like I feel like we never saw those interactions, right? Because there's so many other interactions that happen in the pods. That we don't get to see, right? So it's like
everybody dating.
So like then you don't realize that, oh yeah, I guess they would have been wondering what these guys look like too, right? There's like a part of me where I was like, oh, like, are you upset that you didn't pick him? Did you like that?
I think
he's 6'1". I wrote that down. I was like, he's 6'1".
Yes, because you thought he was just.
I thought he was like 5'11", like just skirting.
But she's quite tall.
She's tall too. She said she's 5'11" or 5'10",
5'10",
something like that.
And
so
6'1".
fair.
So their heights are good. Ben seemed tall standing next to like I would say he's probably 5'11".
Yeah, he's like, I feel like, they're all kind of, I feel like all of the guys are similar. I feel like Devin might be a little bit shorter, and then you have Daniel, obviously, Short King Daniel.
I'm pretty sure Daniel and Devin are the same height. I'm sure I heard Devin say he's 5'8". I'm like, you were height fishing, telling everyone about you playing basketball.
Yeah, and I feel like that was Nick last season, about him playing football and being like a football star.
No, because he's not that much taller than Virginia.
It's true.
And she doesn't look very tall.
Okay, for the younger crowd, you might not understand this reference, but she gives me Lisa Turtle vibes from Saved by the Bell. Like rich, mixed girl.
Yes.
Like soft spoken. Like, oh my god. And they look so awkward with all the other couples. Like they look so out of place.
And she did say, like you called it last week, like you were saying, like she strikes me as like the trad wife.
She doesn't want to work.
No, she did say I'm more traditional, and I don't know that she doesn't want to work, but she does like doing like cooking, and
I could see her being like, who's that chick, Nora Smith or whoever. Oh. Like I could see her doing that.
Like the same.
I think that's what really bothers me about her is just it's the soft spokenness. And I am so sorry, but like the way Netflix was setting it up, I thought her secret was going to be worse. It was no secret. It was the fact that she's just a little more reserved because she's been hurt in the past.
I was like,
I was waiting for a kid. I was waiting for a marriage.
I was waiting for anything. Like I was like, that was it. Like there was
No, there
no
was
secrets.
nothing.
Like God bless Brittany for actually coming to the table with like
That broke me. His behavior when she told him
oh yeah.
that, I was like, you bottom of my list.
Yes.
You were like mid to upper high because I thought you were a decent guy. I was like, that is just rude and appalling.
After you're telling her about your like abuse of ibuprofen, which I've never heard of before in my life, I'm like, can you even get high off ibuprofen?
I mean, I guess if you're taking 24 at one
I
time.
don't know, but do you
Like-
get high or do you just get sleepy? Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know, but I'm like, that's like in my head, I thought it was gonna like progress to like, and then I did this, and then I did that. And then God told me to go for one more doctor visit.
and then I was like, is this going to? Yeah, I was like, is this going to progress? And then he was like, you know, and then I was thinking, okay, like maybe he had some thoughts of like self harm or whatever.
I think he touched on that.
But he said, you know, I never thought I would do that. So I was like, okay, so you're not having any like
Yeah,
self-harm
and I was
thoughts,
like,
and
I was
you're
kind
just
of
taking a bunch of ibuprofen. Like I don't know, like I don't know.
I just was like, I also was interested. I was like, couldn't you have given me the medical thing that you had? Because I'm quite interested in to know what your issue was. He kind of explained it to where it was like, it sounded like he said he had surgeries. I'm like, did you have a double hip replacement?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he was like, his hip joint was rubbing on the socket. Or was it a nerve?
No, it had to do with like his hip hits his pelvis.
So I think it like
pelvic bone.
So I wonder, actually, you know what they did is they probably either grinded down the hip ball joint or his pelvis. So the inside of his pelvis, they probably ground down so he has more movement.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it definitely. I don't think he had a hip replacement. I think it was. I thought I wrote it down, but maybe I didn't. I like. Yeah, I don't know.
I also thought her first look dress was questionable. Virginia's. It was like it was everybody else had long, elegant ones, and she had like this short one with like off the shoulder and like flowy little things.
Oh,
I was just like, why do we look like a butterfly?
But she kind of has that.
She's that whimsical vibe. I'll give that to her. Like,
yes.
she's very. I just was like, everybody else was coming out in like beautiful, like long evening dresses, and I was just like, what is this? What are we doing here? We going to the club?
But like the two of them, I don't know. I guess we'll see like once they get back, like down in Virginia. But like right now, like she like it seemed positive on both sides.
I
like,
think yes, I think they're matched for each other. Yes. Like the more I see how he is with her, I'm like, there's no way he would have been able to compete with Brittany.
Oh, absolutely.
Like she's
got a personality.
Yeah, like, she needs like a strong masculine man to carry her.
And I feel like Brittany might have been taller than him because Brittany
100% she would have been.
Played basketball.
100%.
So
she would have towered over him, and I think that would have made him insecure.
And personality-wise, she would have towered over him.
Oh, for sure. I like honestly, I was like, good for her. Like, I'm so proud of you that it took so much for you to say that to somebody, and like to come to like she was probably coming to terms with it herself too while being there and being like but like I can also kind of like understand that where you're like, I don't know what I like and what I don't like. I know I'm gonna marry a man, but like who knows? Like what did she say? I just love like the person.
And I think like she's like, oh, now we're in a stage where we have to put labels on everything and blah blah blah. But I think that's what pansexuality.
Yeah, she's a pansexual, 100%.
Yes,
it's just the person.
Yes.
Regardless of their sexual orientation.
Yes. I don't know, maybe she needs to do a little bit more work, or maybe it's just like her family that's around her or her community that's around her. But she was like, you know, I just don't see myself like not marrying a man. And it's like, well, like
you don't necessarily know.
Right.
Right. So I think she was going with what she knew. But I mean, I was like, I thought it took a lot of courage for her to like say that to him. I did not appreciate that.
Yes. And the way
he got like offended. Like he got like grossed out by it.
Well,
and I was like,
and he's like, well, are you going like
are you gonna cheat on me? Is essentially what I was getting.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, well, what does it matter if she was just saying like I'm attracted to other men. Like a cheater's gonna cheat,
Yeah.
regardless on if they're attracted to both men and women or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, so she's like,
Yeah.
no, I've always been
Yeah, she was like, I'm monogamous. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But like, you're worried she's gonna leave you for a woman? Is that like, I don't know. It was just giving me massive insecurity.
Well, insecurity, and I think like just his whole vibe about being like Christians. I don't necessarily think he's very accepting of
Yes.
that.
Yeah, because I feel like he's very. I think I even wrote down, I was like, ooh, like Black culture Christian is so much different than white culture Christian. Like they're usually more welcoming, but I feel like he just has a very traditional mind frame when it comes to like a man and a woman. Like,
Well, I don't want to do any spoilers for you, but we'll see when they go back.
oh gosh. Oh god, okay.
You're gonna be in for a surprise when you see his family. But anywho,
Oh god.
no. So yeah, like I don't know. I think Devin and Virginia are matched well together. I
Yeah.
don't think he would have been a good match for Brittany. I heard though that she did actually get engaged. It just
Oh.
didn't like they didn't make the cut for going to
I
Honduras.
bet you
I
it was
guess
the other black guy.
it was.
100%.
Yeah,
I was like him, yes.
yeah,
Like which is unfortunate because I think they should have shown that because that to me is almost a little bit of a triangle. To where cuz she's
yeah.
like
Because there
between
might
Devin
have
and
been
him,
yes, because there might have been
right?
yeah.
Because like I feel like especially after that conversation, she was almost okay with like going in and being like, "You know what? Like this isn't for us. Like this isn't for me, you're not for me. Like it's fine. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Like whatever." What well that's good. I'm very happy for her
I
then.
don't know if they're still together, but they were.
But they did. They just didn't make which
Yeah.
like come on, if they get engaged, send them on a trip.
Well, and then another couple got engaged too. They
Oh.
are for sure still together because
Oh.
it was the girl. Did you see in the promo photos the girl that had like the half suit? It was like
No.
blue and white, and it
Did
was
we
like
ever see her?
no. You saw her
Like
in
in the
the
girls'
ladies' quarters.
women's
Like she had
quarter.
this like strawberry blonde sort of.
I wish they would like at the end.
I don't know her name.
I wish at the end they would show us all the other couples that got engaged, but like they're not coming. They're not continuing the show essentially.
I'm like, who could they have dropped? Like, well, you can't drop Dave because Dave's pretty much carried the
No.
show on his
Yeah.
shoulders.
But before we go any further, like we do have to discuss the whole Dan Instagram Taylor thing.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because I am still not convinced. I know they gave her phone to look at it.
And what app does she have? What is that app? Like,
it's like a follower tracker app.
but why do you need that?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm like, because I'm puzzled. I'm like, what is this app giving you exactly? Just people who unfollow.
I'm like,
why
what?
do you care though?
Part of me too is like, is the dating cesspool in Minnesota, like Minneapolis, like Minnesota in general, like just so like horrendous that they all know each other?
What's the population of that place?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. Like, so, but that was my one thing because I'm like, well, Lauren and Dave seem to run in the same sort of circle.
Yes.
And then I feel like Taylor and Daniel might have too because didn't she make a comment about like we had some mutuals as well? Right?
Yes. This guy that I don't like. I'm still not convinced that he didn't do it. Like that it wasn't him. I just don't know.
I feel like maybe he did.
Yes.
Maybe he did, but I don't feel like it was super recent.
No.
Because she would have seen when she was scrolling through that app.
I just like was like, and then it's hard too to tell like what's editing, what's like real, and like what happened in real time too, right? Like, because I don't know. Like, I thought his reaction was pretty genuine when she stepped out, but then like just sitting there and like listening to him be like, well, I don't remember, blah blah blah, and it's just like a part, and like I understand that's how guys are, but like I was like, I don't know, I just have this feeling that like there's gonna be more.
Well, but maybe he was like, maybe he did follow her, and
maybe
like,
they did have a mutual or something, right?
Maybe they did, and maybe it was just one of those like he followed her, she never followed him back,
Yeah,
and then he unfollowed her,
yes.
and then just went about his whatever, right?
Yeah.
I never thought about
Yeah,
it again.
because like I feel like maybe they do have a mutual friend,
Yeah.
and the friend was like, "Oh, hey, like like this is my friend Sarah," or he was like, "Oh, who's that girl?" Like whatever, right? It could be. I was just like, I don't know, but I was just like, that's horrifying. Like when it was like, oh, all happy, and then it cut, and I was like,
I know. Dun dun dun.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but you know what? Like, so she went through her God bless production. Like, do you want your phone?
I appreciate. I thought it was gonna be bad when they were like, "We'll give you your phone if you need to know us." Like,
Yes.
that's
Happening. But like she went through that thing and then she was willing to go to Honduras with him. They do seem like in
they
Honduras.
do.
Like,
They seem super good together. Like, and
yes.
they seem they're like I think of them compared to like Dave and Lauren, whereas I find Dave and Lauren they don't have much to talk about.
No.
Like they don't really have a
Common
lot in common.
interest.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Like there's nothing. Whereas I find a lot of the other like um Daniel and Sarah, no Taylor, and then Ben and Sarah. Like I feel like it's very like natural. It's organic. Like they feed off each other a
Do
little
you
bit.
find Ben and Sarah natural? Like
I do.
I saw a thing before that was
I
like
also thought it was like really cute that he like left her that note in her makeup bag. I was like, that's really sweet.
okay. I don't know. I feel like sometimes they're very performative. Like they know the
Maybe,
cameras are on them
maybe.
and they're like, look at us. We're the good looking couple.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I
I
mean?
can see
Like
that. But I'm sorry, he does not wash his hair for like 2 weeks.
every other week, yeah. Oh, that's so gross. I'm like, I am not like I don't wash my hair every day. Like I
No,
do
I do
try
it
and
every. I would say like with like I'll wet my hair and I'll recondition, but then like I wash my hair maybe like every 3 to 4 days.
and sometimes I'll go a week. But for the love of God,
Yeah.
I could not do two. Like I could not make it to
And they
2 weeks.
were
Like
another couple who were like, I was like, you guys need to talk about like, oh, like how often do you do laundry? How often do you change your bed sheets? So you do laundry once a month?
he absolutely was telling her what he does not change his bed sheets.
No,
No. You can.
no,
He's like, oh yeah, I like fresh bed sheets. I change them every every 2 weeks.
he 100% clocked her reaction
Yes,
about everything
yes.
else and was like, of course I do it every
Every
2
2
weeks.
weeks. For
No,
sure.
you
I'll
don't.
clean and press your sheets, our sheets together. That'll be my special surprise for you.
They will be interesting to see back out in the real world.
Yes.
Because like everybody else, it's like you got to go back to work. You got to do this. Like you're actually going to be together and you're going to be like married essentially. Like this is real life now. Like you guys actually have to deal with each other.
And he is the one that TikToker had called out, like saying like he's not a good person, blah blah blah. But someone else on TikTok, I think, like kind of like was diving deeper into it. She ended up deleting at least one of the TikToks that she had made about him. So she walked that back a bit. So I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Like I'm keeping an open mind about Ben. Like everybody has a past. Everyone's done things that they are not proud of.
Yeah. It will be with him. I'm interested to see like how it trend like because it was him who was like the like she's the gay sister and stuff like
Yes.
so like I'm interested to see because then I also saw a picture where obviously like he has they're like with his friend and his friend's like Latino and like the little blurb above it is there's like I know this white guy paid me to be his friend but like I was not expecting to come to church with these people.
Yes, and okay, we need to just touch on that. Like when they were talking in the pods about like when she was like, what do you think about Black Lives Matter? What do you
And he just didn't care like that when they were talking about that I was like there are certain social things and injustices and stuff like I'm so sorry especially as a white male you cannot afford to not have a stance on it.
Well, I'm like, man, oh man, your white male privilege is showing there. Like, I'm like, it must be nice to be able to say, I just don't get involved in that.
You
It's
can't, like, in this day and age, this world, you can't do that. Like,
man.
and to me, I look at it as, okay, well, you're not helping, then you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
Like, then you are no
Exactly.
better than those people who are against it. Like,
Yes.
there's too many injustices in the
But-
world for you just to stand by and be like, oh, it doesn't include me. It doesn't affect my life.
But or exactly, and like, oh, I'm just staying out of it. But then, and Sarah's like, you know, like she's like, this is about like basic human rights.
100%.
And I'm like, so Sarah, stand on business. Like
You picked him.
You picked him. If it's about like basic human
Yeah.
rights, you know that he did not like. So this season was shot not obvious this time last year.
Yes.
So it was before like the November election.
Yes.
But,
So it'll be interesting to see at the reunion, kind of, if something happens.
right. But he was saying like when it was like when Biden got elected, it would have been he didn't vote in that election. So it's like,
and that to me is the word. Like, you don't vote, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't. And I say this as we just went through our provincial election, and it's like, if you don't vote, don't come and complain to me.
no.
Don't make comments.
Yeah.
Like, you literally became part of the problem.
Right.
So you have no right to tell me anything.
So yeah, but yeah, so like that part to me was like, well, he like writing's on the wall here, Sarah. Like he told you, like
I don't.
He's sitting in his white male privilege.
And then I wonder if she's like trying to give him benefit of the doubt.
Well,
to be like, let's see how this progresses. Because, like, at the end of the day, at some point, if we've made it all the way there, I at least want to go on a vacation.
Well, that's the thing. That was what with Alex. I was like, Alex, just take the free trip to Honduras. He's like, I'm not ready to propose.
And that to me is just so rude. That to me, because at the end of the day, I'm like, you should have fucking picked Mason then. You should have just picked Mason and gone on a trip.
Yeah.
Like, because he would have been down to go on a trip.
Well, Mason,
like, there's no way in hell Meg was his number one.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Like,
she was not. And you know what? Like, he played that so wrong. Like, so wrong.
He got caught.
But I'm like, the thing that burned me a little bit was that, Madison, you were doing the same thing, though.
100%.
You just came to your conclusion like a little bit before Mason did,
100%.
right? Like,
and she thought Alex was a slam dunk.
Oh, absolutely. She was like, I tell Alex, you're my number one. We're going to Honduras.
Yeah.
So, like, and she, you know what she was saying in the women's quarters, which I'm like, hey, Lauren, maybe you want to take a listen to this. Like, she was like, you know, the more he, like, Meg comes in and like is like, oh, he told me this and he told me that. She's like, the less I'm attracted to him, because she's like, you know, he's going around telling both of us the same thing, and I'm like, hey, Lauren, perk your ears up for this, because I'm like, maybe you should take that with Dave.
Yes.
Like, the fact that Dave's telling both you and Molly,
and they literally they touched on the fact that she was like, I understand that he's trying to play us against it. I'm like, you just said it in front of that island with 3 other girls, and it was like, yeah, I know he's trying to play us, but you know what? Like, it's okay. Like, they gave him all this free like will to just like play them. Yeah. I'm like, the way I would have gone in there and been like, listen, like what Meg did to Mason. Like, I will say, Meg's a cuckoo head, whatever, but tinfoil hat.
Yes.
But I will say, like, I do really appreciate the way she went in and called him out on his shit. And you could just like I wish she could have seen his face, like, just to see how he was like.
Yeah, he went from smiling like she had the flowers in there, and then it was just like,
yeah. And it's like, bro, like, what did you expect? Like,
well,
Meg, I feel like she almost fell for it.
Well, but you know what? Like, we're saying Alex should have just taken the.
She should have too.
She should have too. Been like, well, I can't get over this, but you know what? We'll give it a shot. We'll go to Honduras. We'll go on.
You know what? I would have said, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I think, like, if you got to that point, you spent all this time in these pods, like, whatever, I would have said, you know what? I'll give you a chance to show me.
Right.
I'll give you a chance to prove me wrong.
Then you go on a nice little trip.
Yeah, go for a nice little trippy trip.
And they had nice rooms.
This was much nicer than Mexico.
Did you think?
I thought I liked it because it was more like authentic. It was more of like a boutique-y hotel.
I really liked
Like the step down.
and they had the hot tub right on
Yes.
your balcony. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
this is nice.
Yes. No,
This
they
is
were
nice.
they were really nice. Like I liked that the bed was like a little bit higher, and then you could like step down to a seating area and then like go out. Like I was like, this is really nice.
Yeah. So
And but like
men,
that was also really boring too. Like I wanted to see some drunk drama.
I know.
Like
And there usually is. There usually
I just feel like this is like the most. What did somebody? I read something and somebody was like, "This is like obviously very Midwestern. Like these couples are all so boring."
I know, but don't you think like Toronto, like if they came to Ontario and did one in Toronto, it would be the same. It would be the same. Like we would be just too nice
I
to each
don't
other.
know.
You know what
I feel like it would be a lot of people with that Toronto accent, all those guys. I don't know. I don't know what it would do because I know they were talking about like doing a Toronto-based one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I feel like it's probably in the docket somewhere, depending on how this like.
it's either going to be Toronto or Vancouver.
Yeah.
Those are the two that they're going to pick.
Okay.
Oh, also like I think it's really cute that Dan and Taylor have a little code word for pooping.
Oh, the papaya.
The papaya. I got a papaya.
I thought you were gonna say like their Christmas thing.
That's super cute.
How she's like, anytime I go on vacation, like I get a Christmas ornament. I'm like,
Yes.
that's such a good idea, and I
Yes.
never thought of doing that, but that's so smart because it's like not something you need to have in your house all the time.
No.
But it's just something you bring out at Christmas, and you're like, hey, we went to Honduras together, or we went here together, or there together.
Did you also catch where Dan and Taylor, they were like, look at us.
I was gonna say, I love their little pop culture references.
Oh my god, they're always all the same.
Yes.
Like when they did Bueller, I was like, okay, you've redeemed yourself, sir.
Yes.
Like
I think it's
Short
so
King
cute they
Daniel.
yes, I think it's cute that they have like they just seem to have a lot of stuff.
They have commonality.
Yes.
And in like the same way that they have the same sarcasm, they have the same sense of humor.
Yes.
Like they're very quick-witted, so they can very easily like play off of each other, and like that's what I feel like Lauren and Dave are missing. I don't feel there's chemistry.
Oh, there's no chemistry.
There's like I just feel like you guys spend all this time in the pods, but like what you have nothing.
I feel like Lauren was just like, I just want to.
And then he was like, did you watch how he was like eating her face when they were kissing on the couch at the reveal? He was like,
no. Honestly, just in general, the reveals
they're so awkward.
Oh, and I get such secondhand like
embarrassment. At least like with like Joey and Monica, they were like, what do we do? Like, do we go sit here or whatever? And like, I will say, was it Ben? He was the only one that walked the girl back to her side.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Well, but I think wasn't Monica and Joey, weren't they on?
They were on her side anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, but those two, were like, and I thought Ben was really genuine, like. He was really smooth about like getting down on the knee again and like bringing the ring.
It really like it meshed with them.
Flowed like nicely with that reveal and the engagement for the most part. I'm like I think I mentioned in the last episode like they never used to spend that.
That's
much
what you were
time.
saying, yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, oh, can we Netflix, please? Can we go back to the way it was at the beginning where it was just like, hey, these two people are getting engaged.
It does not need to be that long. Like,
no, because
like they got engaged. Okay, let's have a drink. Like, tell them beforehand, hey, you guys get engaged, go get a drink, and then we're cutting.
Right. That's it.
Like, we don't need to watch them have this awkward interaction. Like, and then I just sit there and I'm like, so like, it's awkward because like you're trying to put the face to the voice.
Yes. And they've said that too. Like,
so you're just gonna watch people just be like, talk to me, let me know your voice. Like it's not like, and like it would be weird. Like it would be very weird because at the end of the day, like no matter how hard you try to not visualize somebody, like there's gonna be visualization.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
it's like you have to knock that visualization out and put the person that's in front of you into your brain and what they look like.
Yeah.
Because Taylor, I do think they're a good couple, but I think she pictured Daniel obviously taller.
100%. Like, I think, yes. I
think
don't.
he's horrible. I don't think he's
No,
horrible.
I think he's a very like conventionally handsome American man,
yes,
like
but
Midwestern
I
American,
think she was hoping for
a taller boy.
yes.
And like they're fine if she doesn't wear heels because she's like a little bit shorter than him.
Yeah.
A little tiny bit. But like, yes, I think she just had
heels
to
put them right.
Yeah. And they were like little itty bitty heels too that she was wearing. I can't do that. So sorry. If I was there, no offense, Daniel, and that door had opened, one, he kind of reminds me of my brother a little bit, so like that's weird. But like also too, I just would have kind of been like, I'm not okay with this. I'll go on the trip, but like we ain't making it home together.
But can we just go back to David Lauren?
Yeah.
And like him bringing up that guy that she was seeing. Can we just have you seen him?
I haven't seen what he looks like. This other guy, is he much more attractive?
No.
Oh, he's medium.
Can you find a picture of, I think his name is Dan or something, and he's a lawyer. I'll send you I'll send you something. So
okay.
A picture here.
Okay.
What a loser.
Oh, so she has a type.
Yes. Her type is loser.
Got it.
He made a poster, and this is what I want you to put here. He made a poster as if he was on Love is Blind, but he made the poster. So he's standing there. Yes. Yes.
Should we do pictures like that? Should we make pictures?
No.
I would take that picture. I would take one of my pictures from the wedding I went to in September because that's like a really formal looking dress. And just put it on like some like lime greeny background.
I'm like, oh, gross. Like, and he's apparently where they go back to. He lived in that building.
Oh, yes. That's weird.
Yes, but anyways, so he like just seems attention starved, and please put his silly.
We'll find it. We'll put it up. We'll put it up.
Yes, and I'm like,
it'll also be on the Instagram. We'll make it part of a highlight.
Yes.
Oh.
And that's why she was like, like as I got to know him more, like I didn't really see it.
But also, like, who is it? Who are you to ask me what I was doing before I came on the show? Because we all know what you're doing, Dave.
Oh,
we all know what you were doing.
I loved it. Have you ever ghosted anyone?
I have that written down, and I was like, he's literally. He's the chairman of ghosting.
I know. I just laughed. I'm like, have you ever ghosted anyone? I'm like, is this rhetorical or is this an actual question? Because I'm like,
I would have asked. He has. The more accurate question is, how many people have you ghosted? And is your percentage more than the norm?
You don't know.
Like,
yes.
I cannot.
You ghosted anyone? Absolutely, he has. Yes,
he is the king of ghosting.
Yes, you don't even
like that's his MO.
Yes. He has a serious relationship.
I'm interested to see what happens when he gets the phone back. That's what I'm kind of interested to see happen. Like, what's on that phone?
Oh.
Yes. I mean, I already kind of know, but like.
Yes. So. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's this week's. Welcome to the second one. Thank you everybody who watched the first episode. Thank you for your feedback. Please give us more feedback. Please, like, yes, we know it's great. It's just like hanging out with the girls, like, but we would really appreciate feedback.
Any
construction. Please don't make us cry. Yeah, but like some constructive criticism would be nice. But yeah, and then next time we will be talking about
I think it's International Women's Day coming up.
Yes.
So we will have something for that, and then we will talk about one. We're gonna go again when they're back
in Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, and then I think we'll go up into the weddings. So hopefully, let's have a little bit more drama. We'll want some spice.
The previews look like there might be a little.
It looks pretty good. But yeah. Well, thanks
Okay.
guys for joining
Thank
us.
you for joining us.
Cheers.
Cheers.